Australia has pledged to share with the world any discoveries and breakthroughs made in its 3 local COVID-19 vaccine trials. Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison also strongly warns world leaders of a global responsibility to share a COVID-19 cure in his address at the United Nations General Assembly. Joining us tonight is one of our fellow correspondents in Australia, Marvi Delphine, to tell us why live. Yes, Marvi.
Marielle, Australia has pledged to share with the world any discoveries and breakthroughs made in its 3 local COVID-19 vaccine trials, which was addressed by Prime Minister Scott Morrison in his virtual speech at the 75th United Nations General Assembly on Saturday. Standing in front of the Sydney Harbour, Prime Minister Morrison also urged countries to share a COVID-19 vaccine as soon as there is a successful candidate, signifying such collaboration as a global and moral responsibility. Let us hear what Prime Minister Morrison had to say on the online UN stage.
In Southeast Asia, we're also providing much-needed equipment and expertise, as well as supporting collaboration to develop a vaccine. And we've contributed $80 million to the Gavi COVAX Advanced Market Commitment. When it comes to a vaccine, Australia's view is very clear. Whoever finds the vaccine must share it. This is a global responsibility, and it's a moral responsibility for a vaccine to be shared far and wide.
In his pre-recorded video, Prime Minister Morrison also highlighted the dangers of disinformation, insisting on the need to identify the zoonotic source of the novel coronavirus and how it was transmitted to humans. Amid growing tensions and worsening relations with China, Prime Minister Morrison defended the Australian-led efforts and support for WHO's investigation in China's handling of the COVID-19 outbreak. Marielle?
Marvi, Australia's stance on COVID-19 vaccine sure looks promising, but on a different note, it was reported that China's heavily contested territorial claims in the Indo-Pacific was also addressed by the Australian Prime Minister in his virtual speech at the UN General Assembly. Can you elaborate on this?
Yes, Marielle, not only did Prime Minister Morrison discuss about Australia's fight against the deadly virus, but he also delivered comments referring to the increasing militarization of the South China Sea, without mentioning the superpower by name. Prime Minister Morrison said, "We value rules that protect sovereignty, peace and security, and curb the excessive use of power. This includes ensuring that competing territorial and maritime claims are based on and determined in line with international law, including the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea." As we have seen in July, Australia wrote a letter to the United Nations formally declaring that Beijing's territorial claims in the South China Sea had no legal basis and were inconsistent with international law. We are yet to see how the South China Sea situation will unfold, as China's President Xi Jinping did not acknowledge this in his UN speech, but instead defended his country's response to the coronavirus pandemic. Marielle?
All right, thank you, Marvi Delphine, for that update on Australia's vaccine pledge.